Simple enough, then. Well, I suppose we should pay a visit, and then we can return for a drink, if we get the answers we need.
Of course, anything for weary travelers. You do find... Yes.
Actually, if you could give us your next delivery of food for her, then we could save you a trip.
Nice. Sorry, that was Connor, right?
Yes.
She looks a little bit pleasantly surprised, because that seems a little bit conscientious for a noble in her experience. But she agrees gladly, and she comes back from behind from the kitchen with a neatly wrapped package of sorts, and she hands it over to you.
Excellent.
Much obliged. All right, so with a hot meal in tow, you guys make your way out to the cottage. As you approach, you can smell some strange herbal medicinal scents wafting out through the window. And you can hear the sound of an old lady who seems to be humming to herself, some tune that you've never heard of. It doesn't sound particularly musical.
What
Yes.
food was she getting?
Which what?
What food was she getting?
Oh, you really have no way to compare it. You haven't seen anything else to compare it to, but the food is
I mean, is it meat? Is it vegetable?
Yeah, it's vegetable. She's a shrew, right? I assume herbivore? Omnivore?
Maybe.
Oh, yeah. Shrews are omnivores. Do not fight a shrew.
I can confirm.
Well, can
Okay,
you guess,
cool.
Thomas? It feels like you should be proving yourself. The best fighter.
There we go. Can you beat a shrew?
I
At
certainly can. All right,
In
in
real
real
life-
list today, I'll add another
She
S.
wasn't an old lady. She was a shrew.
I mean, in real life, pound for pound, shrews are the strongest mammal.
Really? Is that true?
I mean, they're tiny because they fit in your hand, but they are insane. Do not fight a shrew.
Don't fight a shrew.
Plus, also they're tiny, so they have a high metabolism, so they're always eating. Just don't mess with them. They're in
They're also
Ironclaw.
venomous.
They're also the only venomous mammal, so don't eat them.
Yeah, right? That's crazy. When I read that the first time, I was like, wait, really? What? That seems...
No, that would be poisonous. Venomous is when they eat you.
And it depends on which kind of shrew it is. The hero shrew is the big bad. But anyway, yeah. So they're omnivores.
So
Gotcha.
I suppose a gentle walk up to the door, knock on it. Would you like to announce Connor?
I don't think you have
I
to.
doubt she would
She's a
respect.
commoner.
Yeah, I doubt she would respect my authority.
See, this is where you can just go ahead and bang on the door you want Gaston.
Oh, very well then. Bang, 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 bang.
He's just like, good. That was my move.
I cast knock on the door.
Yep. Flies open. It takes a couple more bangs than you thought it would before she seems to take heed of your presence. But a moment later, the door opens and you see a short, hunched shrew who, by the looks of it, might be blind. She doesn't look at you when she addresses you. But she says, oh yeah. So she kind of like stands there for a moment and then goes, ah, you brought me dinner. Excellent. And she'll reach out for the package.
Connor will give it.
She says, all right. And then turns around and closes the door on your face.
I put my foot in the door. Ma'am, we are here to speak about important business.
Yes. Oh, well then come in. Hope you don't mind. I'm starving. And she begins to unwrap the bundle and just dig into it.
I want to elbow Theta's character and say, do you think there's something in the water here?
No?
Okay.
Why? What are you reading?
Why is everyone here like some kind of... like they're all weird?
I don't know which aspect of this old lady that you're finding abhorrent.
I don't know. Everyone seems really casual about the destruction of their city, and also
They
no
don't
one
know
knows
about it.
Oh well, let's go ahead and make some conversation. Then everybody just
okay.
seems mean and argumentative, and
This kind old lady that's been seeing the whole time we've been approaching her, who's apparently blind and wandering around, living on her own, and you're calling her mean and weird. I'm sorry,
I'll
Anushka. Maybe we should pray on some of your deeper thoughts and where they're coming from.
you're absolutely right.
Ma'am, if I could ask you some questions. There are bandits in the area, and I mean to ask you about them. I understand that you saved a nobleman a few days ago.
Hmm. Oh, yes, he was surely dead. But, well, I saved him. Brought him back to life, I did.
He was
It sounds like he
dead.
has more treacherous wounds than it appeared.
Oh, yes, but I know the secrets. She points over, and there's kind of like a bubbling cauldron in the corner. Which strikes you as a little bit stereotypical, but well, here you are.
Hey, I'm a warlock. It's my thing. It seems perfectly normal to me. What's weird about it? You're the weird one.
You're the weird one.
They're gonna say, points over, extravagantly black-bound book from Animal Flesh.
Huh, what's the strange one that says Necronomicon on it? I'm sure it's nothing. Anyway.
No, but you know what I will say, as you glance around the place, is that you can see there's a lot of drying herbs that are hung up around the apartment. There's obviously jars with ingredients for who knows what, this large cauldron. And you can also see that she has several robes hung up in the corner.
Of what colors?
And they have of various shades of green and purple.
Okay.
Ooh, very
See, I
nice.
was just thinking to myself, she's presenting as an alchemist, which is not a heresy. And the robes aren't the right color to be decried as a heresy. So her claim that she brought somebody back from the dead or kept them alive or whatever is just quaint. It's not
Yeah,
it's not a threat. It's not
exactly.
Yeah, it seems like she's been healing people for a long time. Maybe she is prone to hyperbole.
although this is the moment where I lean into Anushka and say, only good thoughts.
Ma'am, could you tell us about when you came across him? What was happening?
Well, then, it seemed like he was attacked. Had a bloody wing, he did, yes. But it was too late for his men, I'll say that. The forest ghosts, the revenants took him. But, well, I'll just say he's lucky that I got there.
So you know them by name. Have you encountered them before? What do you know of them?
Oh, yes, yes. Oh, everyone knows the forest ghosts. They've been here long before any of us have. No, but the revenants, they're considerably newer. They know better than to harm an old woman.
I see. Did you notice a large individual there? Or one that hangs out with these bandits, these forest ghosts? We're looking for someone called, what was his name again?
Tassobianco.
Tassobianco.
At
Have you heard of that name?
that name, she chuckles. Or it's more like a little girl giggle, like a but better than what I just did. She says, "Oh yes, Tasso was there. He likes to play with them, the nobility. But he didn't make off with this one. No. As for large fellow, no, it was just the normal revenants, and the forest ghosts, of course."
I see. Since you seem to know him and of his activities, do you know where he is? Where we could find him? Or their camp? It's of dire importance that we locate him.
Oh, I know. I know. It's okay. Find Tasso. Well, you'll need to make friends with the ghosts, I think. They don't ken to just anyone, you hear. I suppose I could help, but you'd have to prove yourself worthy of their respect. Do that and they'll show you to Tasso's hideout. Yes.
Well, they already sent us 3 letters of invitation by arrow. If that's not enough to earn their respect, I'm not sure what else.
Oh, well, and you still stand here, so obviously you can handle yourself. What do you need old Gertie for, then?
Just to know where we can harass them at. Where we can tease out this fellow.
Well, if you wish to find them, then you should just hang around the road at night. I promise you that they'll find you. But if you want to join them, they do take recruits. The price tag is something belonging to a noble, and then, of course, meeting with the ghosts.
I see. Is this a regular occurrence in town?
Well, you didn't hear it from old Gertie, but
Of course.
you know, the townsfolk here, they get along fine. No king ever cared about them. No noble. They don't have much. But the forest ghosts take care of them, and the revenants give back when they can.
I see. Well, I suppose arranging a meeting wouldn't be the worst idea. Who would we bother about that? Who would we go to?
A meeting? Well, there are those in town who might know Tassobianco. People who might talk to him, that he might talk to, I mean. We haven't spoken in quite a long time, he and I. But, well, you could start with... Let's see. You could start with the bard. He knows all kinds of songs about the great Tasso.
I see. Well, this has been informative, at least. What of the rest of you?
Well, I've got a plan to create a caravan and do so openly.
I mean, more like
so...
questions, right?
Oh, okay. No, I'll tell you this.
Skipping ahead one step, that's all.
Are you just gonna not ask her about the whole bringing the guy back to life thing?
Oh, actually, my next question was going to be about magical training. The
robes.
robes.
That seemed to be his wheelhouse, so I was going to let
Well,
him
I
do
defer
it.
to the smart people on this. I don't know magic.
Well, no, because I already mentioned before that she was indicating towards an alchemical sort of thing, which is, 1, I don't know any alchemy that brings people back from the dead, and 2, alchemy isn't considered a heresy at the moment, so not too concerned about that. But yeah, no, I would ask, apologies, do you have training in, sorry, I don't even know where green and purple get their training from. The cognoscente arts?
She turns to you and she scratches her chin a little bit and says the cognoscente. I haven't heard that word in quite a long time.
Oh god, she's Obi-Wan.
There was, yeah. Oh, in quite some time. She says, I knew one once, and he had a thing or two to show me. I was much younger then. But I've always had a talent for talking to the ghosts of the forest, and they seem to speak to me, so it was more of a natural arrangement than, well, training, as you say.
Okay. Okay, and you kept his stuff? So that's what's happening here?
Oh, keepsakes, memories.
Whatever happened to him, if you don't mind me asking?
Oh, the forest took him. And it takes so many who are, let's say, cocky, and he certainly was that.
So he's a forest ghost now as well, or?
Oh, most likely. I haven't spoken to him in quite some time.
Okay. And just as a quick follow-up question, again, if you don't mind me asking, if I'm pushing the bounds, you just go ahead and tell me to stop. When you say you saved him, or raised him, or whatever it is that you just said, how do you mean exactly?
Oh, he was surely going to die from that wound. Or from Tassobianco. So I saved his life. I call that saving him from death.
So you're not saying that you brought him back from death. You're saying that you saved him from death.
It's all a matter of perspective, I suppose, but sure, fine.
You see that the thing here is that we use words in place of other words so that others know exactly what we mean. And the problem being that one of these isn't acceptable, more acceptable than the other, and we just really need to figure out which one is which. By which method did you use to save or bring him back from death?
She's chewing her food now and kind of looking at you like nodding. And when you finish, she totters over to the cauldron and she scoops up this noxious smelling goo that she's brewing essentially, and she hobbles back over and she like extends it to you and she says, this'll cure even the nastiest of wounds. Would you care for a taste? I used paprika.
Okay, I taste it.
Yeah, it tastes foul. Medicinal. You don't sense that there's anything exceptionally magical about it. Yeah, you get the sense that perhaps maybe it's like a topical thing rather than something you should be eating, and you think that more and more the longer you have it in.
I mean, at the same time, she offered to me to taste it, so...
Oh yeah, no, totally. But she's off her nut.
I would not want to put paprika on a wound.
Yeah.
Oh, hey, even if it's quackery, it's still helpful.
The burn means it's helping.
Yep.
I mean,
that means it's working.
Pain can keep you conscious, and sometimes falling unconscious while you're heavily wounded can lead to your death faster, so...
Mm-hmm. Still, I think at least that's, I've still had all my questions answered. What about, Connor?
I'm satisfied.
Okay.
And yes.
No, that cleared something up for me.
Yeah, I mean, her information matched what the noble guy said, which was my primary concern.
Of course. Then I want to thank you for your time, ma'am. It's good to talk with someone who's actually skilled in their profession.
She gives you kind of like a nod, like, oh, she's heard it all before, but still flattering.
Wait, what is her profession?
Village witch.
No. I want Gaston answer.
Yeah, I was about to say it's like creepy old witch, I guess.
Yeah.
Creepy old. Yep.
She's she's great at it. All right. Well, now we have some more people to talk about, and we need to start inquiring in town. And I guess this is the point where, Arkloyd, you had a plan already, didn't you?
Yes. If we could somehow assemble a mock caravan with my vast wealth, we could present ourselves as a target, but being that the townsfolk are complicit with these bandits, it's a tossing between actually catching the bandits or just going back and tell the king, yeah, they're complicit with the bandits or committing treason. Go and do what you want to do.
Right. Ostensibly, our goal is not to get innocent people burned, though, I would assume.
They're not innocent. They're complicit with the bandits. They are helping
I
them.
imagine not every single person is, nor do I really care what their ways are. I'm in it to capture a bandit who is very well known and receive money for it.
Very well.
Now, your
I want to point
caravan
out
idea.
that Connor here has reigning authority.
I know this. I still won't allow it to happen.
Well, I mean, I don't know that you can stop him. I'm just saying that the way that Connor just said "very well" in that dejected tone of voice is like, wait a second, Connor, what are you doing?
Still,
You're the master of the house here.
I do like your idea,
The
Connor.
fact that there are, innocent people that may not be complicit. So, very well, I won't get to do what I wanted to do.
I mean,
but
also your opinion sides with the king, so I don't think anything that's going to ever come down on you on this one.
Still, Connor, I liked your idea. We already have a carriage for ourselves. We merely need to travel at night and hope that they ambush us, which ostensibly they ought to. You're a noble, they won't like you. He may even come for you personally. The only downside is, of course, that puts us to a disadvantage being in the dark, in the center of an ambush.
Oh, I
Not
mean,
exactly
furthermore,
ideal.
it also eliminates the church's generosity by granting us a carriage and also makes us walk home.
That will be uncomfortable, but not the worst possible result.
I mean, this carriage was ostensibly purchased by the tithes and donations of the people of Triskellion, so
Indeed.
maybe putting it in harm's way isn't the greatest.
I would expect us to remain unharmed, however, and that would be the first priority. The second is that there are, of course, ways to perhaps arrange a meeting. Maybe we can do this in slightly better circumstances. If you give me your signet ring and I begin asking around, maybe I could use that as a bartering chip. They want something belonging to a noble.
yes. But I would not want that lost.
Understandable.
Maybe they'd be willing to parlay with a member of the church. Okay, I assume the silence there is.
No, I'm just thinking
We don't
about
care
it.
about the father. Maybe this is a good idea.
No, I'm just thinking about like how do we go about it and what's our angle. At the very least, I could begin talking with talking with folk, talking with the bard, and start asking questions about. Well, maybe there's people out there. Well, but I couldn't possibly know. But well, maybe someone would, and start kind of like asking around and see if I can get some answers. Who actually knows these people in the woods? And at least from there, if we find someone who actually knows, then maybe someone who can speak better than I can arrange something.
Well, I'm a little worried here that because these revenants, the forest ghosts, have been here for so long, that they're basically entrenched in the community. Like I said, bandits steal stuff, but they have to fence stuff.
Mhm.
So I would be worried that the squirrels here are the local bandits who have been robbing people and fencing them in this town.
Right. Which is why I'm not interested in fighting the entire village here.
Well, we're after Tasso. Tasso's the one we want.
Precisely.
So we need to convince the townspeople, you have to give us Tasso, or Vaslov is going to send an army here. By the way, if I understand correctly, Vaso also, his mother is the most powerful necromancer in the entire world. Not to mention that he's supposed to be pretty badass.
That's just a rumor. We don't speak ill
Vicious
of
lies.
nobles or their wives or former
Or their
nobles and their
mothers.
wives.
Look, just because she's a little bony doesn't mean she's immediately a necromancer.
I don't think it's wise to spread ill rumors of the king's mother.
So, he might. I think we would all agree that when Vaslov makes the claim that he will come and raise this place to the ground, that unlike the previous king, he is actually an effective and forceful administrator.
Well, I think the problem here is that, like, the previous administrator, the Rinaldi ability to raise arms is quite diminished over time.
True, it's true, but it's also, this is not a big town. If you were going to burn down a town, this would be a good starter town to practice with.
And we all need our starter towns.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess I should begin the process of inquiry at the least, and see what we can get. Does anyone want to assist me on that?
I
think
have
I
no
probably-
inquiry, but I do have etiquette, but I don't think that would matter.
Only with one person. Literally one person.
I have inquiry.
Okay.
So,
How good
I
are
am
you
a-
at inquiry here?
how good am I at inquiry? Let's take a look here.
I mean, just to throw out another thought, by the way, while we're... if Anushka's thought on this is correct, that the squirrels are part of Tassobianco's bandit army, and they're
I'm not
also...
sure.
Yeah,
It
that's what
might
I'm
be.
saying. I'm following your thought process. And that they're headquartered here in town somewhere. Well, if that was true, then somewhere here in town there should be 2 injured, or at least recovering hurt squirrels that we might be able to track down.
That's also a distinct possibility. Or they could be in the woods, but still someone would know.
Well, yeah, but where would you go back to get help, right?
The old witch.
The blind old witch?
Exactly.
Well,
Topical elements?
also, this is a huge forest that's rumored to be haunted. There could be a sizable bandit camp anywhere in here.
Yes. So Anushka, how good were you at inquiry?
Oh, I have a D4.
Oh, okay. I will lead. I would like you to assist me. We'll go around together and start asking some questions.
I don't know how much I know about Cognoscente magic, but if it is haunted in the way that I would think it was haunted, I would think there might be... Sorry, Judd, for saying shades, and maybe not revenants.
Okay, so inquiry is the skill of specifically one-on-one interrogation. If you want to find out rumors and scuttlebutt and gather information, that's gossip.
That's what I was going
Okay.
to say at some point.
Okay.
Yeah, gossip is the
Gossip,
at that.
I have a D4 and a D6, but you're a team player, which means
I
if you
can still
screw
go
up,
around and help you anyway, so we're a team.
and if you screw up, something bad happens to you and not me.
Or it doesn't even happen
think
at all.
like- No, the
Oh,
rules
okay,
say
still-
to
yeah,
screw
still
up the whole
happens,
thing. You can still botch and hurt yourself all day long. You just don't ruin it for everyone else.
Got it.
So let's
All right.
wander around a town that's possibly friendly with bandits and ask about crime. I can't think of any way this could possibly go bad.
Oh,
All
no.
right. So, Red, are you ready to lead us into that? Mind and
I'm ready.
gossip, I suppose?
Mind and gossip. Yeah, let's see how many successes we get.
Out of all the abilities that can help boost this, I don't have any of them. There's lots of them, I don't have them.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
No, I
I
mean,
had
like
a-
streetwise would help with crime. Local knowledge would help if I
Yep.
knew the locals. Carousing would help if we went to bars. I don't have any of those.
If
So-
I said, like, local Triskellion, that probably doesn't apply to here.
No,
Yeah,
Like
this is
the city.
definitely does not.
This is
My
the
local
convenience.
knowledge is definitely Triskellion. But
You do get a
Uh,
D12.
I get gossiping as a messenger because I'm constantly asking people, hey, do you know where this guy lives?
Nice.
I have a package
And now
for
you're
him."
doing it again.
Okay, did you succeed?
Yes, I
did.
did. You get a D12.
Okay, so I have one success. All right. So I have 2 successes. I could find out information, like one success, something anyone could find out. Obviously, do you know where the bandit hideout is? Say, do you know if there's any sailors in town? Would be something that would be something only a skilled person could do. I have 2 successes, which is enough to find stuff that only someone who knew what they were doing could actually find. So I could find secret stuff, but not super secret stuff.
Gotcha. Okay. Well, here's what you'll get then.
And gossiping takes at least an hour as like a montage as we go around talking to people. Say, you wouldn't happen to.
Yeah.
If I
I'm
were
gonna
going
say-
to fence some good. Sorry, go ahead.
No, that's fine. I'm going to say that this is taking place at the tavern, since at this time of night, at this point, this is the only place where people are gathered.
Well, but here's the tricky part.
Mhm.
Ironclaw, if you notice, the critters have cycles.
That's true.
So
That's fair.
basically at night, basically during the day people all finish business, and then all the night people come out.
Yeah. No, that's a very good point. I'm still stuck in my horribly human-centric perspective.
Yeah,
of
well,
our
that's something
D&D
people kept
campaign.
asking us about in early editions of Ironclaw. So second edition added the cycles. And so, yeah, you'll actually see, and if you look at the finer points, raccoons and stuff, they're all nocturnal. So at night,
A lot of them
a lot of businesses are open 24 hours in a lot of places. Fortunately, I'm a bat. It means I can do everything during the day and the night.
There you go.
Because I don't bump
Needs
into
night
walls.
vision. Yeah, Okay. You hear a lot of general hearsay when you're asking around the tavern. Even though I imagine there's probably people who are finishing their work day, and they're hanging out here. So there's a lot of people. There has been a lot of talk about this Tassobianco character. Some people believe that he's fiction. Some people believe that the ghosts are fiction and that it's all him.
Right.
There's a lot of indication that he used to be a noble, but he's turned on his own kind, is a popular song that the bards sing. There are people who, he's fast as lightning. He's a dashing rogue. He can speak with the ghosts of the forest. You do hear people, though. There is a prevalent rumor, and this is the kind of thing that not everyone will hear because of the implications it has for the town. But as you just sort of insinuate yourself into the conversations and the drunken tavern gossip, there are people who do believe that he is a member of the town, that he's one of them, living among them, and that he dons his disguise at night during these raids. When he goes out hunting the noblemen on the road, essentially.
And with my two successes, something about the way I hear about this rumor lends it. This isn't just the village idiot or the town drunk saying this. This is people in hushed tones saying, "You didn't hear it from me," but
pretty much, yeah, pretty much. You didn't hear it from me, but
that would explain a lot.
Yeah.
So, interesting. And Gaston's with me, so Gaston would say, "Hey, if you want to know how he assists, it would be I said, hey, there's a guy over here who said he knew something," and I would go over there and listen to them. Go, yeah, you're right, Gaston. I think they did. So, so that's what we're doing for the next hour or so. What's everybody else doing? We actually haven't spent anything that requires a rest yet, have we?
Not yet, no.
Okay, so we can still be running around like goofballs. I don't know what you other guys were going to do. You don't actually have any spells or anything weird that you can cast to help us, do you?
No.
Yeah, are you ordained? Are you sacerdotal?
I'm ordained, yeah.
But do you have any sacerdotal spells?
Oh, no, I'm not an acolyte.
Okay. That struck me as the kind of thing you would do.
Thinking about it for the future. There's so many prerequisites that I don't fulfill yet.
They are pretty tricky. Yeah, for the record, there's the common holy white magic that anyone can learn even if you're not a cleric, and then there's the secret Catholic sacerdotal spells.
You should know though. I wouldn't be calling myself Father Elrich unless I was ordained.
Well, I knew you were ordained, but I didn't know if you were ordained. That's the gateway to the secret sacerdotal.
Actually, it's not. You can be an acolyte. You can be an acolyte without being ordained.
Oh, really?
I'm pretty sure. I can double check. I got up all the books.
Well, it doesn't matter. It doesn't matter. You don't know any. You don't know any.
Right. I don't know any.
So, so that's pretty cool. So I don't know what you guys would be doing while we're wandering around gossiping.
Yeah, you're thinking of the advanced sacerdotal spells, which require ordainment. The
openers, that's what I'm thinking.
Yeah, the openers are only just acolyte.
We can teach zealotry to anybody.
Well, anyone that can speak Mangaloquentia.
That's also true. So I didn't know if you guys want to be doing something while we were doing all of that. I don't know if you guys have anything weird you can prepare or anything. I guess not.
I was waiting to hear what Connor has to say.
Just get drunk at the bar.
No.
Well, I was figuring on looking for other people who are out of towners who might become targets of Tassobianco in the near future.
I mean,
That's
worldly
not a bad
pleasures
idea.
are the surest way to deny
right.
yourself a sentency.
Yeah.
Yeah, you want to set up your ruse, which means you would actually need to get because we had to abandon our carriage because it wouldn't fit through the woods. We'd have to get another one.
Who
We
drove us? Did
backtracked
somebody
on
drive
that.
us here, or did we drive ourselves?
I'm assuming that you guys got around the blockage in the road. So you still have your carriage probably tied up at the gates of the town by the stables.
Once we, all right, I guess, yeah, sorry. Once we defeated the squirrels, I guess we could shove this one out of our way. So, yeah.
Yeah. Also, this was, I mean, it's a static map image type thing again. Initially, I intended it to be kind of off the main road. In this picture, it's taking up the entirety of the road, but yeah, so.
Well,
You can get around
deal
it.
with what we have.
we might still have had to shove it out of the way, but yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, that makes more sense. Well, then in which case, I guess Connor would have to prep the ruse a bit more. Oh, this money's so heavy, I can't carry it.
Oh, yeah. And plus, he's wearing money.
Yeah.
That element is very expensive, so he's probably going to become a target even if he doesn't want to be.
Can I ask quickly, because I'm too lazy to look it up, but the element armor, what does this look like? It's like a full plate type getup?
It's made of aluminum.
It is out. Okay, yeah.
Aluminum is aluminum.
I was just about to say it has the same base soak dye as chainmail, so it would probably be a chain type armor just made out of aluminium, however you want to say it.
Aluminium.
The English way
Gotcha.
or the American way? Aluminum.
Okay.
Well, I spell
Gotcha.
armor with a U, so I'm going to say
Aluminium.
Nice. All right then. So yeah, so you look the part. And you do have at least a starter carriage. I'm going to say that if you're spending the hour that they're gossiping to just kind of talk up, let's say Nadia or somebody at the bar, you learn that there is supposedly another noble who is passing through or scheduled to pass through. They had come... they sent like a forward messenger reserving a room at the inn, right? They're scheduled to show up tomorrow. And they're supposed to be spending tomorrow night at the tavern. So they're not here now, but if you wait a while, maybe you could get access to another carriage.
Certainly. And I'm sure with the starting money I have and an exhaustive wealth, I could hire enough guards to make it look plausible. So he'll start looking specifically for quote-unquote caravan guards.
I forgot for a moment you actually had wealth. I was like, what, 6 denarii? Is that not for guards?
8. I have a career D8.
I was guessing at a D6. I was like, that's what, 6 unskilled labor for a day?
So is this how you guys run wealth? Is that you can exhaust it? Because I assume you exhaust it and you get to basically do something that would be expensive per... I forget how it refreshes, but yeah, per chapter, per plot.
It's an influence gift, which means it recharges when you think it would recharge, like
every
usually
time
once
you
a
Lannister
chapter. Yeah, or once a month. Basically, it's GM fiat. You tap it and you say, okay, you have to wait. You buy a big carriage, and this won't recharge until enough time has come by that you earn enough money.
Got it. It's the kind of thing that could be easily abusable if I'm not on top of it, which is why I definitely want to understand it.
Right. Well, it's plot armor. It's basically I tap wealth and I do something only a wealthy person could do.
Yeah. And I think that's a really cool way to run a system in a game that also tracks money.
Right.
So
likewise, our ordained guy could show up and say and assert his priestly authority by tapping his ordainment, and then he could do anything an ordained priest could do. And people will just capitulate.
Yeah.
Assuming you're not a Etrigener or most of the Doloro.
Right. I mean, they would have to accept your authority, but same thing with wealth. I mean, you could show up and you could show up to the monsters and say, "Oh, I'll tap wealth," and they'll just look at you and then eat you anyway.
Yeah. No, I was just indicating that most of the Doloro don't accept clerical law. and whatnot.
Right, but we're in Rinaldi domain. They better accept clerical law.
They better.
Separation of church and state? What's that?
Yeah,
Well,
so
Yeah,
you can
what's
get yourself
Amplify?
Connor, if you choose to exhaust tap your wealth gift, you could rustle up. I like the idea that like a 1 dinar probably rustle up a caravan guard from the townsfolk around here of like, let's say 8 people. They're
I
not
was
outfitted.
thinking maybe 4 people and a couple extra vehicles and drivers
Okay.
to make it more of a pleasing target rather than a heavily defended target.
That's actually very smart. And also easier to accomplish. The one thing they lack here in this town is an abundance of, fancy clothing. So, to complete your ruse, it might be better. I mean, having commoner drivers and stuff would be understandable. So, yeah, I do think that it's definitely feasible. So, are you going to go for it?
Yes.
Okay. So exhaust your wealth gift. There's plenty of unskilled labor available at the bar who is more than willing to act as your caravan guard and drivers. And let's say that you don't have, besides your carriage, you don't have anything that looks as fancy in town as a noble caravan carriage would, but there are several like carts and wagons that you could join to the caravan, and it just would give it the appearance of an actual caravan versus a single cart wagon carriage.
Yeah, fill it with the sacks full of rocks. To make it
We
look
are
like
now a target.
There you go.
We'll probably
Okay.
afford hay instead of rocks, so you can actually lift it up onto the carriages.
I'm
Smart.
not lifting it. That's what the unskilled labor is for.
Right? Exactly. Hey. Maybe
That's
a fake
literally
guard,
what the
but you can-
footman is for.
Yeah. All right.
mean,
So as
Cover identity
nightfall-
could easily be, I'm here with you transporting tithe to the church for heading back to Triskellion.
Hmm.
Yeah. So we could actually get the townsfolk who are in cahoots with the bandits off our side by acting as tax collectors. Too bad none of us have deceit.
Well, I mean, it's also an outside source, right? The people in town don't exactly know why we're here or why we've shown up. So if we started saying, oh, this money is from town, well, no, that doesn't make any sense to them, especially if they're in league. But if we're just passing through collecting tithes for the church, then pre-existing money would make sense.
Yeah, so that we can leave the collecting ties up to you, since you're the ecumenical.
Well, I'm not actually collecting tithes. It's story. It's not actually something we're doing. I'm not here to rob these people under the pretenses of collecting tithes with the church. The Archbishop has somebody else to do that.
Well, we just take the money to the church for them. But I see what you mean.
Yes, this isn't a very noble way of thinking. Connor.
there.
Well, okay, I have the
Something.
French translation. Connor tut 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 tut.
Right. Nice. Okay. All right. So you guys have this set up. You have a somewhat convincing caravan, noble caravan. You have been asking around town for details on this Tassobianco fellow, and you've found that it's more than likely that he is actually residing in town undercover as someone. You also know that it is possible for the townsfolk to join up with this gang, the Revenants, but to do so requires stealing something from a noble as an offering, and And you know that they like to attack at night, specifically nobles and noble caravans. And you know that...
Point of order, some of us are nocturnal, so we go around during night. But the destriers, drays, coursers, the lizard monsters that draw all of our stuff, all of them are diurnal. All of them are day creatures.
Okay.
Right. So that so that creates a problem.
All right. See, I'm learning so much today.
I mean, we can still try to push them during the night anyway, just for the sake of setting our ambush.
But it also makes less sense that they would attack caravans at night if no one's traveling at night.
Do we get attacked during the day or night?
We might still be traveling at night. It's just slower and more dangerous.
I'm saying,
also,
did you get attacked at night or not?
A lot of caravans will also just be on foot. I mean, there are cargos and planquins, those things that you have regular people just carry, and they carry that. Because once again, that's handy because they're servants, so you can make them both do things for you and carry you.
But not at the same time.
Well, but you can rotate them in and out. So, but some caravans would just be people.
When we got attacked, did we get attacked at day and night?
Sorry, you guys got attacked during the day.
Right, so why are we concerned about night? We shouldn't be pushing ourselves.
Because Tassobianco and the Forest Ghosts prefer to attack it.
They do prefer to attack at night.
Right,
although it's becoming clear now that there'd be less prey to attack at night, so I guess that might be a moot detail. And they'll probably just attack you if you're there to attack.
Looking at the pattern, there might be less of it, but there would still be some of it, and it might just be that that's what they do. I mean, that would show up as an unusual outlier, because not only is night traffic rare, but the fact that they attack night traffic. But
but
you're saying
they're going through the town of a big score, they might just attack it anyway.
Right. Also, when you say attack at night, people move during the day, but they might camp at night because you can't always get to the next town. Plus, also, if you have a caravan, you already have a roof over your head. So you can just go, when the drays get tired, you just stop. You stay in the caravan, so you stay dry. And if it rains, they're servants, they just get wet.
Exactly. They sleep under the carriage, and then they get muddy and wet.
Yeah. I mean, I don't have to smell them. But then again, that would also be a great time to get attacked, especially if you're not very well defended. See, there are all these roads called the solution roads, which are not solution, but solution, which are supposed to be protected by the Rinaldi Empire, which haven't been for the last 20 years since we've had a terrible king descending into decadence. That might be about to change.
Right. And I think this is one such road. The Via Salutis, which I guess solution?
Yeah, the Via Salutis, which you could also call the Salutis Way if you wanted to. I mean, that's all that is Latin for Salutis Way. Cool. And ironically, it means the safest road.
But there you go. Layers.
The Rinaldi stopped paying for the patrols, and so the patrols stopped happening.
Yeah, yep. And now you get bandits, because if you want bandits, that's how you get bandits.
That's how you get bandits. So they might be attacking at night to ambush, which would make sense.
Okay, cool.
So, because if Tasso is a badger, those are nocturnal, right?
No one said Tasso's a badger.
Okay, no one said that. Well, Tasso is Italian for badger.
I did not know
we're
that.
about to find out.
But
I'm the only one here. I'm going to recommend Grandville. It's an awesome comic, and there's a character in it named Tasso, and he's a badger.
There you go. Tasso is taken from the canon adventures in the book, where he is a badger. Spoilers for the adventures in the book. Yeah, but I'm also deviating here a bit.
There's also allusions to Grandville, which is a furry comic book, which is awesome. So
I'll check it out.
So we do have our plan. We have a vague idea of when we want to try to head out, and all we have to do really is execute on it, correct?
So our plan, if I understand this correctly, is to wander around at night, encouraging people to attack us with deadly weapons.
Doesn't that sound fun?
Mm-hmm.
It sounds fun to me.
You and I are very different people.
Yes.
But
Bandits.
I have seen you fight, and for the benefit of the historical people, you are wearing armor that costs the entire gross national product of Europe. Because you're wearing like aluminum armor. If we didn't have wizards, your armor would be impossible. So
there's nothing scarier than you out here.
yeah, I mean, you are pretty scary. I mean, I saw you get hoisted up and then they shot you with a bunch of arrows while you were helpless and you were still parrying them with your shield. Whereas I got shot. Am I the only one who got shot? Did anyone else get shot?
I think you got shot.
You got
That's
shot,
it.
but you soaked it.
Got shot, and I was lucky that it was a crappy shot, or they could have done serious damage.
Mhm.
If they had scored one extra success, that would have shot them into a new damage category. So yeah, no. But I know no fear and serve with joy. So sure.
Plucky that one. So listen, it sounds like we have an idea. I'm going to ask for a quick break because I need to go use the bathroom. But then when we come back, let's do this caravan idea, right?
Yeah.
Everybody's on board?
Caravans.
Okay, cool. Quick 5 minutes, and I'll be right back.
Okay.
Yeah, the whole taking element armor as a signature item is the entire reason why my character is a vassal of the Avar de Poix, because that's where it comes from.
It's a wonderful idea.
In fact, that's where his family gets their money. They happen to own land that they found a mine for it on.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I mean, if I want to also aluminum pieces, I'm such a nerd. Aluminum pieces show up as a currency in some RPGs, especially Rollmaster, because aluminum. So during the Napoleonic Wars, Napoleon said, "Hey, this aluminum stuff's awesome. I'd like to make cannons out of it because they would be really strong and really, really light." And the reply that they got was, "Well, boss, we could make exactly 4 cannons if we bankrupted the entire country's budget."
And then they did.
No, they didn't.
Oh, dang.
But while they were doing this, there's the town of Bo, which was like, hey, the emperor, Napoleon being the emperor, said he wanted to make aluminum cannons. So let's get some guys to work on it. Hey, we found this material in Bo that we can use to help us synthesize aluminum. And that's where bauxite comes from, because they discovered they could make a bauxite reaction. So couple this 100 years later, and now we can work with aluminum so cheaply that I have some of it right here.
Hey, there you go.
I'm simplifying. So alumen is in Ironclaw, and they say it comes from meteors or whatever, but it's literally aluminum. So it would literally be impossible to work with if you couldn't just control the elements and just make stuff happen. Oh, Aerith comes from meteors. My bad.
And aluminum comes from the moon.
Which is also that's what it says, but literally it's just aluminum, which is what cracks me up. Aerith comes from the moon? Yeah. Aerith is made up. A Tunguska incident. Yeah, it makes sense. And they work just as tirelessly on Wednesday as they do on Monday and Friday.
Spooky.
Well, yeah, we're normally clinging to a lot of with Ironclaw writing. We want to cling to medieval idioms. Like I really want us to stay away from pseudoscience and that kind of stuff, because that's not part of the era. So that's why they say, "Oh yeah, it must come from rocks from the moon." And so a lot of the stuff that's in the book is like unreliable narrators because they're saying it's cursed.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh no, anything bad happened to that group after they went to the curse location. That just proves the curse is true. It's certainly associated. We only had 20 years left anyway. Oh, heck, that's even an extension. Hey.
And I'm back. Thanks for waiting, guys.
And we're back. Yep.
Okay. So, what's happening down there? Jesus. Okay. So you guys are going to set out at night with this false caravan into the haunted forest. I got
Yep,
this right?
to intentionally get surrounded and attacked.
All right. Well, it doesn't take too long before that very thing happens. Let's move over to A.
Almost if they knew we were coming.
You have been doing a lot of gossiping at the local watering hole.
That's what I was making the joke that I was.
And flexing money.
Please let all of your guards be squirrels.
Oh, that's where you went by that. Okay.
Yeah. Well, because again, Rafferty's suggestion that the squirrels in town belong to the gang. This is how they know everything's about to happen. So, what better way to make sure that the sting goes right than to have all of your guys on the inside?
Well, I'm not saying all the squirrels in town, but once again, I mean, if you're a bandit, you have to fence stuff, and they might have local fences. We didn't find any, but the rumor is that Tasso is actually in good. So it might be that the bandits get the stuff for Tasso. Tasso, whoever he is, liquidates it and then pays them.
Is that political backtracking? Hashtag not all squirrels.